editions in special English at 2:30 p.m. Mondays to Fridays. Linux Radio 101.1 FM, revolving around you.
It's the news at noon. In the news, Minister of Works Dave Umahi discloses federal government will reconstruct collapsed Enugu Port Harcourt expressway bridge. NAC says CBN will spend $3 billion loan to stabilize economy. Election Petition Tribunal upholds Pastor Umoino's victory. On the foreign scene, Morocco gets $1.3 billion from International Monetary Fund for climate and disaster fight. In sports, Ibom Football Association drums up support for Akwa United. Good afternoon and welcome to the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM. Uyo, my name is Xavier Robert. We begin back here with a report that the Akwa Ibom State Governorship Election Petitions Tribunal has upheld the election of Pastor Umoino of the People's Democratic Party as the validly elected governor of Akwa Ibom State, dismissing the suit instituted by Senator Basi Albert Akpan and his party, Young Progressives Party YPP, which challenged the election of the Akwa Ibom State Governor. We will bring you details in our subsequent bulletins. On to the national scene, where the Minister of Works, Senator Dave Umahi, has disclosed that the federal government will begin immediate reconstruction of the collapsed Enugu and Port Harcourt Expressway. Umahi stated this when he and Enugu State Governor Peter Umba visited the scene of the collapsed bridge for an on-the-spot assessment as part of his working visit to the state. He said the reconstruction of the bridge would end the plight of commuters plying the road, adding that it was unfortunate and the government would in the meantime provide alternative roads for the people. The minister added that the report and pictures of the collapsed bridge sent to him were the same as what he was seeing. He explained that the collapse occurred because the pipes were exposed, adding that the bridge was constructed in 1968. He assured the Enugu government of his support and thanked him for his initiative in dualizing the Enugu to Abakaliki town road. In a separate development, the National Deputy President of the Trade Union Congress TUC, Tommy Etim, has berated moves by the federal government to hamstring the organized labor from embarking on an indefinite nationwide strike using the courts. Etim stated that labor leaders would not succumb to any threat by the government, noting that they were ready to go to prison in their fight for better lives for Nigerian workers. The TUC Deputy President said this against the backdrop of the warning by the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Lateef Fagbemi San that the proposed strike by the Nigeria Labour Congress and TUC was in contravention of a subsisting court order restraining the unions from declaring an industrial action. However, the AGF, in a letter addressed to the Council, to the NLC and TUC, Femi Falana San, reminded them that it was as a result of the disobedience to the order that the Ministry of Justice filed a contempt proceeding against the labor leaders, adding that the ministry withdrew the suit following the intervention of President Bola Tinubu and the National Assembly. Meanwhile, the Trade Union Congress TUC says it is ready to shut down all oil field locations in the country if the ongoing discussions with the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL) and the Nigerian Ajib Oil Company (NAOC) do not yield positive results. The president of TUC, Comrade Festus Osifo, made the threat in a televised interview with newsmen. Reacting to the issues raised, Osifo maintained that the union's position is for due process to be followed. In the meantime, the National Economic Council, NEC, has affirmed that the $3 billion emergency loan for crude oil the federal government secured in August would be deployed to stabilize the naira, whose value has continued to fluctuate in the investors and exporters window and worsened in the parallel market, hitting 1,000 naira per dollar earlier this month. On August 16, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited revealed that it secured an emergency $3 billion crude repayment loan from Afrexim Bank to relieve pressure on the naira, noting that the loan would enable it settle taxes and royalties in advance, adding that it would also equip the federal government with the necessary dollar liquidity to stabilize the naira with limited risk. However, the naira has continued to fluctuate in the INE window and worsened the parallel market. On labor matters now, the National Economic Council, NEC, has urged organized labor to reconsider its decision to embark on a nationwide strike on October 3, 2023. Addressing State House correspondents after its 136th meeting, the Plateau State Governor Caleb Mutfwang said the council looked at the implications of the strike for the economy and the nation and thus urged members to continue to engage with the leadership of their respective states and to appeal to them to shelve the action and continue on the path of dialogue with the federal government. Recall that Nigeria's two major workers' unions revealed plans to begin an indefinite strike on October 3 to protest against the cost of living crisis after the scrapping of petrol subsidy. The union leaders affirmed in a joint statement that it is going to be a total shutdown until the government meets the demands of Nigerian workers and the masses. Now in health, the World Health Organization has released $16 million from the WHO Contingency Fund for emergencies to tackle cholera. WHO Director General Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus said this during an online news conference. Ghebreyesus said that the organization was providing essential supplies, coordinating the on-the-ground response with partners, supporting countries to detect, prevent and treat cholera, and informing people how to protect themselves. According to him, in the previous week, WHO published new data showing that cases reported in 2022 were more than double those in 2021. He said that the preliminary data for 2023 suggested that it was likely to be worse. He further said the worst affected countries and communities are poor, without access to safe drinking water or toilets. Now in Imo State, the Supreme Court has affirmed Senator Ethan Achonu as the Labour Party governorship candidate for the November 11 governorship election in Imo State. According to reports, Achonu is aiming to become the first physically challenged governor in the country through the off-season election taking place in the state. An aggrieved aspirant in the last LP primaries, Basil Maduka, had objected to Achonu's candidature at both the Federal High Court and the Court of Appeal, but the Apex Court dismissed the case. The case was thrown for lack of locus standi. You're listening to the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM, Uyo. Let's take a breather and then bring you more stories from the foreign sports and entertainment scenes. Please stay with us.
Healthy living begins with the choices one makes. Choosing to live healthy is the first step to healthy living. Join us Sundays 1:30 to 2 p.m. for Healthway, awareness for healthy choices.
Thanks for staying tuned. Now onto the foreign scene, where the International Monetary Fund, IMF, has approved a $1.3 billion loan to help Morocco improve its preparedness against natural disasters 3 weeks after an earthquake killed nearly 3,000 people in the country. According to reports, some Moroccans criticized the government for its handling of the 8th September earthquake in the high Atlas Mountains, calling the response slow and disorganized. Elsewhere, at least 25 people were reportedly killed and dozens more wounded today by a suicide bomber targeting a procession marking the birthday of Islam's Prophet Muhammad in Pakistan's southwestern Balochistan province. Reports say the celebration of the Prophet's birthday is accepted by the majority of Islamic sects in Pakistan, as certain denominations view it as an unwarranted innovation. In sports now, the Akwa Ibom State Football Normalization Committee has expressed its readiness to encourage and support Akwa United in the upcoming season. The committee made the announcement during a pre-season meeting with the management staff of Akwa United at the conference room of the Godswill Pabio International Stadium, Uyo. Akwa Ibom State Football Association FA Chairman Prince Bonnie Ngong said the meeting was necessary to enable FA know the state of preparedness of the state flagship team, Akwa United, ahead of the new season. The chairman of Akwa United, Paul Bassi, assured that the team is ready for the season with the recruitment of quality players as well as a new coach. Meanwhile, the Promise Keepers will begin their 2023-2024 Nigeria Premier Football League campaign against Bayelsa United tomorrow, which is billed for the Samson Siasia Stadium, Enugu. And on the entertainment scene now, the Lagos State Police Command has confirmed that music promoter Balogun Eletu, popularly known as Sam Larry, is now in its custody as the probe of Afrobeat singer Mohbad's death continues. This was made known by the Nigeria Police Public Relations Officer SP Benjamin Hundayan via his X account. The development comes less than 24 hours after Naira Marley said he was willing to fly back to Nigeria for investigation. Meanwhile, Naira Marley has denied claims that he is responsible for DJ Splash's mental instability. Also, he cleared the air on rumors that DJ Splash was once signed to Malian Records. It's been the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM Uyo, but before we go, a quick recap of the major stories. The Minister of Works, Senator Dave Umahi, has disclosed that the federal government will begin immediate reconstruction of the collapsed Enugu Port Harcourt expressway. The National Economic Council has affirmed that the $3 billion emergency loan for crude oil the federal government secured in August would be deployed to stabilize the Naira, whose value has continued to fluctuate in the investors and exporters window and worsened in the parallel market, hitting 1,000 Naira per dollar earlier this month. The trade union in Congress The Akwa Ibom State Governorship Elections Petitions Tribunal has upheld the election of Pastor Moino of the People's Democratic Party as the validly elected governor of Akwa Ibom State, dismissing the suit instituted by Senator Basi Albert Akpan and his party, Young Progressives Party, which challenged the election of the Akwa Ibom State governor. On the foreign scene, we told you that the International Monetary Fund has approved a $1.3 billion loan to help Morocco improve its preparedness against natural disasters 3 weeks after an earthquake killed nearly 3,000 people in the country. In sports, reported that the Akwa Ibom State Football Normalization Committee has expressed its readiness to encourage and support Akwa United in the upcoming season. For comments and coverage of newsworthy events, do call our newsroom on 0812-770-2940. Visit our website at planet101fm.ng and follow us on Twitter at planet_101fm. Also like our Facebook page at planet101fm. Uyo. The news was edited by Jane Uwa. As we end the news, to stay safe, be vigilant and on the lookout. Pray as well for the safe return of all abducted corps members from Akwa Ibom State. My name is Xavier Robert, wishing you a terrific afternoon. Bye for now.
Ideas can be life-changing. Sometimes all you need to open the door is just one more good idea, and they usually show up when you least expect them. Planet Radio, an indigenous radio station, came alive when people least expected it. The first ever private indigenous radio station in the great state of Akwa Ibom. Planet Radio is poised to revolutionize radio broadcasting in the Akwa Cross region as an alternative platform of communication, propelling diversity in its wake. Planet Radio is set to nurture original, dynamic, and entertaining approaches to program making with audience satisfaction in mind. Planet Radio 101.1 FM, revolving around you.
Scholarship. Savannah Energy Education and Internship Training, SEEIT program. Akwa Gas Limited, the mainstream subsidiary of Savannah Energy in partnership with the Noyo Toro Foundation, invite indigents of Akwa